Ace and Dez both did just have a front row seat to the way that Cafe game transpired when NIP played it in the previous series, so I want to drag him back in here for just a second.
Performances over the years. Almost we march then. Ban's going to kick things off. First bans coming through are going to be to no one's
going alongside, or is it something like a Ying, perhaps? There we go. And they're capable of going and getting wins there. And those are the maps that I want to see. Look at this. Straight away, Fantasy out of the window. Takes down full epochs. Actually, Sen's gone.
Absolutely. Speaking of Fantasy, we've seen them playing in this spot before, and it was a very, very effortless execute really coming out from the other side. I forget whether it was Furia or FaZe playing it, but they dealt with it very, very handily, as they've done here. 2 quick kills come on through. Cons, one of our highlight players from the last series, also taken out by Herds. Furia moving forward as a unit here, forcing NIP to pay the price, but we're down to this last 30. And Wizard, well, he's in a spot to work a little bit of danger here. Tim put a curse on them as they start their march on forward. They know they've got to deal with him, but all he's got to do is get this initial kill. That could be the start they need. Sees the gun barrel, but already it's down to a 3 versus 3. AZ in spot, swung on by the shotgun. There's very little support coming out. Wizard strikes big, it's traded out, and we're into a 1v1. Nade versus Hates. Who comes out on top? Well, it's got to be Nade, as Hates looking.
And they certainly don't need to make things any harder for themselves. Hates is going to be in rough shape in Pixel Corner as well. 1 bullet will do the job. How about that, though? They got 1 last time around in round 1. This time Con says, I'm going to get 2. KZ down as well. Round all but over.
Yes, when you have a Gridlock and the Nomad on side. Very, very curious and very, very interesting. Like, sure, maybe you get rid of the edge ups on the way through, but that shouldn't really be happening, not at this level. And they've paid the price of that big time. You know, Casey's also on his backside, probably going to find himself finished off soon. It's just Herds now left standing. This could be a flawless round coming out, but no. Of course, he has to spoil the party.
It's going to be a case getting those Valkyrie cameras out. Fantasy, again, going to be playing in and around dining, looking to hold on to that area. And it's in a row now.
Not looking good. It's almost the reverse fortune they had the earlier series. Not used to losing out on the entry and tries. They might there. Cons really thought he was on to do something special and get rid of a second, but Nate has dealt with him. Down to a 4v4. So the VIP back ever so slightly, but still in range here to be able to contest on towards any drops that come through.
Somebody just waiting tight inside that wedding window there. Wizard definitely wanting to get himself a peek around here. And I tell you what, there's Pia just carrying on,
come on
as they left off, making a 3. He didn't even move his feet, Des.
Let's have a rest now, Fantasy. Come on, mate. We've seen this enough this stage. Oh, Nade does have the answer to him, but does he have the answer to 3 other players on this team? I'm not so sure. Again, for me there, like, VIP has to be punished. They've sent 3 players to try and clear him out, and he's killed every single one.
I'm not sure Fantasy even used his keyboard, to be honest. I think that was just mouse at that point. Longer performance from W7M, but NIP just completely smothered them, and they're starting to do...
Given it is that mining site, you definitely want it for like reading when you get control of cocktail, but here, a limited amount you can get in towards mining. You don't really care too much about it.
It's train more than anything.
Yeah, train was going to be a threat for the need piano control. Yeah, Pino's got himself a bit of a freebie there. Not quite the way they wanted this to start. Nade trying to push him down, but no, the side swipe is there. 3 kills for NIP. And Furia have tried to go fast and been aptly punished by the ninjas, who give nothing over to them here. One kill comes across on towards Herds, at least as Cons, our hero of the earlier series. He falls down. It's a 4v2, and at this point, NIP, let's just not give away any silly kills, and this round is surely yours.
Yeah, JV's just going to take a tickle of damage there. Does manage to go in and find a lot more in return to Pino. That gives us now a 2v4, becomes a 2v3. I think it was a 2v5, actually, it started as. JV just going to be battling on those whites there still. Maybe... needs to be careful. Herds has got himself inside a site as well. Furia could well be doing this. JV manages to find hits. It's almost certainly over as Herds is battling. It's JV to pick up the final kill.
Yeah, always interested when you start seeing these spicy combination of operators. You know, Rara and Glaz for one, the Dockery being another. Normally screams that there is some plan ready to start happening. Pino once again, though, gets the entry. Casey's there for a response to C4 straight onto JV. That's Dockery and Glaz gone down. Tim Sasor, now you can turn towards Rara if you want. But there's a plant going down. Fair play inside of the smoke. But is it going to be enough for them? I don't know if they're 100% aware this is going down at this point, Tim. But they've snaked it away. And now we're going to have to see the defenders spring into action. Wizard whipping some shots there and giving KZ a freebie as the rest of the team scramble to try and recover this one.
I think it's just Furia, I was going to say a little bit out of shape here. They need to get to the roof realistically. Need to be quick to make the challenge though. They're not going to be, I don't think. Sprays it down. That is an absolute fraction of a second. Nade manages to keep Fantasy off it, and this choice to get up to the roof really is the big one. Is he aware here? He's going to have to drop down. He knows that he can't make the challenge. The cover is there. And then
Jeez, the goo mines, the black eye cameras. Like, sure, the IQ is going to help speed that up, but still an awful lot to do. And across most of this half, we've seen them really start getting moving around about the 70-second mark. Here we're down to the last 45. They need to do something soon as a kill comes on through from Hertz. He's down in response. I think that was a trade coming out. Fantasy just below. Half using him as bait, but here comes Hates again, Tim. Big 2K from himself here to get things moving, finally getting the response, but a lot of the damage has been done until KZ gets one more back. Fantasy finishes off Hertz into a 2v2, make it a 1v2 as Pino's backside is now firmly on the ground. Big requirement here. It'd be crazy if he pulls this off. Sure enough, JV ain't gonna let it.
Of course, it's their map choice, so NRP had the side choice to begin with. They chose defense, so you really do have to come away with a 4-2 minimum.
Sure. And probably even off the back of that, a series when if it builds up to it, truthfully, like I do expect this to be a 2-0, but like we were saying, we just bang in, so I'm down for more.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll get that done. Ooh, we're gonna have some immediate aggression. Hertz manages to take down Pete.
Forward to come through. Can they pull off a reverse Fantasy? It was a 3K that he got from this exact spot where Hertz is now. As the Monty's pushing on through, has an extra slow Monty. Also the blast coming in. It's a nice response to C4 up and over, but no, shot out. They've got to know a second player is here, ready to join, and sure enough, they've got the shutdown they need. 2 kills come out. NIP looking good in this round at this point, starting to fight their way back in.
Such an important shot from Fantasy to take that Nitro out and keep the Monty on the board. Wizard finds KZ, and as you say, this NIP attack is now building some serious momentum. Flash goes in, they know they've got one stuck in reception. Opportunity to put the diffuser down, but they don't have it in hand because Cons was dropped in the meantime. But Wizard does collect and can go in. They know that they've got this player trapped. They're just waiting for them to pop out. JV taken down. Hits grabs the
ropes are down. They start their push on forwards here. Plant is going down really, really shallow. It's Cons going for it. Casey gets rid of Hates. The Dockerby's gone, but the plant should get finished off here. No! Just stopped out there. Saw his health going down, but it was the C4 that connected in the end and will stop NIP from being able to get away with this. They're now down to a 3 versus 4, Tim, but we've been here before, and they've still managed to get the job done.
Yeah, that's huge from KZ. They really needed to stop that plant going down. He is low health now, but Hertz does have one stim left in pocket, so might be able to juice one of these two back up. You can see that NIP just suffer into the utility. Philippox manages to find Wizard, just going to continue being a nuisance from underneath. Cigar Shop is a punishment for Pino as Nade manages to find him. 4v1, the pressure is increasing. Because they're just going to hold them from above and deny any plant attempt that they make. They can cover most of dining and reading from that position in barback storage and cocktail. So NIP continue to fight. Wizard manages to find KZ up on the top floor, and this hold is starting to be broken apart. Philippox, the last alive in cocktail, the last hope really for Furia.
Sure. However, I was about to say, in a 3 versus 4, it's doable. In a 2 versus what could soon be a 5 if they retrieve Cons. Besides itself, it's all starting to turn up their way now. The attackers can surely get this one over the line. Plant going down, no one there to stop them, unfortunately. No C4s or nothing. Brownstairs, Wizards watching. Maybe with it all to do, a flawless round coming out for NIP. Very, very fluid attack there that left nothing for the
momentum and constantly forcing Furia to look backwards, to look to the previous round and say, what went wrong? What do we need to change? What do we need to adapt?
Certainly not on my list of things that I would come to expect. There is, of course, one of my magnets to help capture any nades that could come in from Fantasy to force them to move away. And here we go. Starts to move on forward. He saw the head step up there, and no, Nade's got him covered. Even as his vision faded, had the chance to get the kill, but Nade is the one who comes out on top.
Is being offered by Wizard. They're just trying to, I think, force Hertz out of position here by putting that smoke in his way. It's almost like he has to push forward, and then Wizard can take him out, but they're not going to need to. Double kill comes in. KZ takes a swing onto Pino. Meanwhile, Hertz finds one. Hertz finds another. Takes down Wizard. And anything you can do, they can do just as well. A flawless, at least another 100, because you would get 50, but by getting into grand final, it's at least 150. So it is a huge difference. That is far too easy for Hertz. He's starting to get running, takes down Cons, and it's a
hard anchor in this lineup so early in the round.
No, it's not great at all. You can see it being monitored, but that's it. It's
Oh,
been grabbed out.
Nom, nom, nom.
They might do a bit of zapping now because the control has been passed over. Fantasy manages to take down Nade with an absolute...
Somebody, what's the problem? Why is everyone screaming? Ugh, it's horrible. 4 versus 3 for now as they try another run out. I'm afraid it ain't going to work out quite the same this time around here, Furia. Before me once, shame on you. Before me twice, shame on me. Definitely applies at least to rounds. It might just be after that their memories get wiped and we go all over again.
It certainly could be. It's looked that way a little bit tonight, but yeah, that is going to be punished this time. No sense on side, doesn't really matter. We're just going to come through and kill everybody instead. Fantasy manages to pick up heads, doesn't get the final one. KZ does manage to pick up a headshot onto him for a trade, but it leaves KZ 1v4 to a 1v3 cut down by a wizard. End of the... Seen a nade make it through there, didn't see an explosion. ADS still online. Doc's going to juice himself up. 3 versus 5, and Furia are holding on so well here. Nade manages to find Cons. All the pressure left from NIP is in Piano and Cigar, and Furia are well aware. They are lining them up, shooting them through the hatch. It's a flawless round. They just don't seem to be able to do 2 in a row.
Team wanting to be, you know, the ones getting caught out too early on or trying anything risky and costing their team the game. So it's trying to be cautious probably here in the same sort of fashion. These last 3 rounds are where things really start to build up, and Pino, great shot on towards JB there. As much as JB tried to get the reverse angle, couldn't quite find it in time. Advantage to NIP as a call rings on through, just to keep them safe if nothing else here, knowing there's no response. And Fantasy hits 2, finally gets traded out, actually gets to trade himself on the exit with Herds there. A 1v4, and Furia will find themselves down here. NIP will step up towards map point, but as said, they will move on from defense next, and you would expect them to come away as the winner there. A great round from NIP regard. Doing the hard yards when required. For a second, I was like, surely Cons don't fancy a cheeky one here. He's got himself the impact ready. He sure enough does. Finds 1 and finds 2! Just like that, you break Furia's dreams of getting Cafe over the line. Oh, man.
Moment thought the pressure was coming from window, but it was actually bottom white stairs that the challenge came in from, and nearly lost his life. He sees the shadow. He has all the pre-warning that he needs. Fantasy takes down Herds with a headshot, and things go from bad to worse for Furia. NIP 5 versus 2 now, 30 seconds left to go, and surely they seal the deal here in Kitchen.
They don't lose this one from here, Tim. I've never seen a team lose it from this position, not when there's this little time left and the team does not have any real map control. It's nigh on unwinnable. So when it comes round to concert, that's what we're all going to be talking about. But the hero at the moment, 100% is Cons. A big 2K run out, turns it into a 3rd. And now Nade can do nothing but look on, knowing that his team have got the business to do now. They've got to go and win both Consular and Club.
Spawning Riverside, Dockside. We don't need to. We're going to the top of the building. You can spawn anywhere on the map to get to the top. River is probably one of the worst sides to spawn on because you can be spawn peaked and you're getting spawn peaked. So again, it goes back to the question of where are the drones? You cannot convince me that all of your drones are on the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor. One drone should be outside Big Door or inside the main lobby just to see if there is anyone playing around there possibly.
NIP's map choice, in we go, starting with our bands. First one going to be, I imagine, a Hard Breacher. No, Blackbeard Shield.
You know, we kind of thought that NIP were back. I think we just didn't realize how back they were.
All these things can still hurt you, even when it feels like everything is sort of ready and going your way. This player actually at the top of blue gets 1. Herds, will he come for the 2nd? Yes, he will! Fantasy! Question marks on the sprint there, my friend. You knew he just swung 1, man. Hoping to chase the man down blue stairs, I expect. But Herds, he weren't leaving. He was coming back for a 2nd and then for a 3rd. And just when it felt like NOP had all the control they needed, they get absolutely clapped back on by Furia. And Hates, well, I don't think he can do it all by himself. He might get a kill back. All that's going to do is deny away the flawless round though, Tim, because Hates has got to go massive here. And somehow, I don't think a team like Furia are going to let that one happen. They take that first round off the back. Pressure the Janitors player if they want to be able to play the windows successfully. Fire coming on through is doing enough to force them to drop down. Good stuff here as well as started to force players away. Fantasy on the march on up, and they know about this. Yes, they do. But of course, it's a clash in behind a shield. There is a trade to come out. But a lot of that work is done. That backwards pressure dealt with. It hasn't stopped the actual plant itself going down on site as Cons in the back of it. Off the back of his own smoke has got the work done. And now it's panic stations for Furia. They've got to find a way to recover here, Tim. And this is one damn hard site to recover.
Yeah, NIP have won the round realistically. There's no option to go out of the windows anymore. Hang on a minute. This could be a hell of a play if he's got himself just inside of the bookcase there. He's looking to... that's not ideal. It's just going to, I think, take away that cover he was relying on. But can they get the angle here? The window cover is in place. Yes, they do manage to take him off it. And as I said, it was always going to be very, very difficult. JV does manage to find Pino, who'd made a last gasp effort in there. They've left one on the windows. The time has run down. And NIP do manage to hold on. It was a little bit closer than I thought it might be. Just as he turns away, they move on through and the Deimos gets established.
Absolutely. It's that combo again, though, right? The Deimos, the Dockerby. Speak it into existence to death. The Fantasy's certainly not going to help. But, and also the Blitz going down, that is most definitely not going to help at all. But it's back and forth between the two, to be fair, Tim. They are this is crazy. Look, we're barely even looking at the site yet. There is all this back and forth going. Defenders don't look all that bothered. Still only 3 IPs on either side, so it's been that kind of calmness for the last 60 seconds after what was a manic flurry for the first 90 seconds of the round or so. My expectation from Wizard, there is a player starting to push him here, and the fire comes on through. Felipox can't do an awful lot, but elsewhere, it's Casey getting rid of Haste. They take with one hand and give with the other. Both teams neck and neck as we get towards the last 20 seconds.
In go the Grim Bees. That is going to signal, no doubt, a little bit of movement here.
I know where both are.
Where NIP try to push in and get aggressive. They need to win the gunfights. They will pre-fire 1 versus 1. Pino picks it up and again.
But just couldn't close out onto Pino at the end. Big problem there being that one of those Grim Bees spotted out both players, so constant pings coming through on their location. You can still cross safely back in towards site and rejoin your team. Admittedly, I'm not feeling too good about his position here, Tim. I thought he would have joined his team back on site, and instead, as very fairly so, got himself pincered in from dirt, plus 2 players pushing into the bottom of stairs. That's the only bad part.
To make it any easier for them to do that, and it might just create that little bit of space that they need to actually move through the site and plant on the bomb chassis instead and give that alternative.
I like this. Rather than trying to plant in a standard spot, they tried to tuck their way in, and that's when Fantasy strikes. Of course it is. Here he is with 2, looking for a 3, but no. It comes all down to Wizard to close things out as they get into the last 3 seconds. Furia have stood firm. Might have almost got themselves another kill there, but it wouldn't have been the end of
the utility that needs to be removed.
Absolutely. A bit of exchange coming in here, and nade up to force JV back a bit. Fantasy really wanting... Surprise! Coming in from the backside, at least gets rid of 1. 8's getting a kill, instantly traded out as well. NIP starting to lose numbers here as pressure just keeps on being applied by Furia. Granted, NIP have tried something a bit different here in terms of aggression, and so far I paid the price. Wizard with a great shot onto Herds, brings it back to 3 apiece. And now at the very least, sure. Got to make something happen, though. He is the tip of the spear for them. They've got a concuss available to Wizard, finds absolutely no one, unfortunately. With that, they've got a smoke to play behind, and that's about it. It's kill for kill yet again, though. Tim Con's getting rid of 1. Now he's up to a 1 versus 1. The KZ wins out. Wizard 1 back. Isn't it once again, Tim? A 1 versus 1. Lots of time to play with, but Felipox with the inferior gun has got to find the headshot. Wizard up to 1 HP. Felipox finds what he needs, and it's another close round.
He wants to continue peaking this. He knows he's got a second challenge in him as well. They need to be careful here, Furia, because Fantasy's the sort of player that'll take both of them down. But Herds manages to find Wizard. Big pickup. There's a lot of utility gone.
And again, that sort of trend of Furia just being willing to show aggression in the early round, whether it's playing on blue stairs or getting up in the face around the map, paying dividends for them, and that 4-2 half looking more and more likely as they've now found 3. NIP just running out of steam towards the back end of this half. Of Furia have really awoken. And you can see them roaring their way towards a dominant first half. The other one coming out as Pino falls down. This could be a flawless round to end the half, Tim. Unless it's Cons, can do something magic.
Completed, and against a team like Furia, even less likely. So Cons, he's going to peek around the corner, manages to find his first. I'm still going to say it's likely an exit frag at this point, just seeing if he can find anything up through that hatch. Going to do a little bit of damage. Furia are intent on having the fight here, but it's such low health. Felipox drops down, gets the kill, closes it out, and that's going to be
in back pocket. Because those are the sort of things you look at and say, that was used earlier. It might not quite have gone this way. You wouldn't have been surprised. Through a Monty, shock horror, not at all. Maybe a little bit, to be fair, actually, against Fury, because as we've regarded, they're not really a
damage onto the Blackbeard, you then start thinking about, you know, maybe a Nitro going in there and it gets a kill where it might not otherwise have done. And like you say, 8 drones left alive. Furia had no excuses not to know that they couldn't swing onto that, but they're going to get the hatches open. They're going to get the opening kill. That's going to be Fantasy taken out. JV92 onto hits, and this one seems to be running away.
To work with. I swear to God, if they lose a third player peeking onto that hatch, I'm going to cry. Should be in a spot now to make this happen. Those a go. Canister burns out. In a good spot is Cons. Is that the diffuser down upstairs? It may well be. Out he steps, looking to try and find some more as yet another Vulcan canister is pulled out here. Tim, they might be able to hold on by playing behind all this utility. Last 10 seconds, and Cons, as the kick of that machine gun rolls on through, they're down to a 2v2. 3 seconds to play, and they've held on, Tim. NIP up to 4 and 3. Not the best start for Furia.
Yeah, it really gives NIP a bit of space, because I was just going to comment how Furia had them surrounded. They had a couple of repels. They've got pressure from stock. They had a number of angles, but as it is, it's the repel down the main lobby skylight that's going to do the damage. JV gets a big double and just continues going for Leapox. Manages to find one. It's all up to hits. A 1v3 becomes a 1v2. He's pushing back up the spiral stairs, but they know where he is, and Herds wins out. It feels like NIP are on the back foot a little bit here. I know it's Furia that have had somebody downed, that have got that low HP player, but ultimately there's shots coming in everywhere, and it's NIP that are having to back up, and it's just doubled upon.
Elevators on that angle, so Herds right now really does control seemingly everything, but look at this. Here comes Cons on the step up. Do they know about it? They should have, Tim, but he's got one, almost looking for a second, not quite going to collect it, and does manage to make it back in towards sight. That's at least some of that top square pressure taken away, but now on main stairs, it's Felipe Potts working his way forwards. So not quite as stable as NIP would like to be at this point. It is still a man advantage to Furia.
Yeah, they're just taking damage from everywhere, though. Hits taken down. Cons low health. Pino, yeah, full health, but he's going to be wanting to use his Yokais. Cons manages to find one onto Felipox. 2 versus 3. Can NIP hold on? They've got a long time to survive here with the pressure that they're under as well. 30 seconds left to go.
They've got nothing to stop him as well. No Yokais for seemingly, no smokes. This one is done. JV on for another couple of kills in this round. They are just the kings of top floor. No tack timeout's going to save them here. It's Furia that's going to be going up to map point as well, Tim. 3 rounds for NIP to fight their way back.
They're going to need space. They're going to need 3 rounds back to back. No more mistakes if they want to stay in this one. On bank.
And with that Rower on side, keep an eye on when that locks things off. I expect it to be on towards site door, maybe even towards orange door at the same time. Could do a lot for them, and of course the Sens will do the rest for them.
Just going to try to create a bit of space there for Herds to walk in, but he does get cut down. Hits with an important double to keep things level. 3v3. Wizard aware that he's being pushed inside a garage. You feel that NIP can maybe hold on here. The light screen is going to provide a little bit of cover for this player to move in, and it's the double up. KZ comes around the backside and finds Wizard. 14 seconds left to go. Creates space with the Raura, and it's gone their way. Furia close it out and take away NIP.
Was on the Grim, KZ was on the Deimos. They had an Osa, but then this time around, what we were execute stuff. This time around, what we were seeing the Sense, we were seeing the shields come in, we were seeing more of a cohesive utility op focused attack than individual play that was just going to be okay. If this player makes a big play, we find success here. No, and then again, you look at the entire scoreboard across from Furia.
They've just played those last few rounds. I've said this a few times now. Furia have woken up. Furia are coming. Furia on the defense as well will keep that momentum. I think they'll start really strong. They'll probably lock down at least 2 out of the 3 sites.
See how they fare when we get there. For now, they can enjoy 3 rounds of Ace until it's no longer available. At least we get to enjoy every round of Ace here. Tim with you on side. Wizard starting things out. Hurts to fall down. A C4 up and over. Going to find a second 2. All coming back over the other way. Certainly not bad. A 1-for-1 exchange to start things out. The site itself, and without a mirror on side, it's so precarious to try and do just that. They've got to be really careful here. NIP with a lot of ability and a lot of influence here to get things done.
NIP need to be winning the rounds on the attack in the first few, because of course after round 3 I'm certain we're going to see Ace band away as well, and they're going to be limited to Maverick. So get those rounds now on the attack. They want at least 2, 3 if possible, and that is a great start for them. Fantasy Man Mounting too much. They're trying to deal with nade at the minute, and Fire Arrow's going to do a decent job of it. That's a good chunk of health gone. The Clash is going to have to be careful. A lot of utility expended though. Blitz taking all the punishment, but Hits is there for one of his own. Furia, however, managed to keep themselves in the lead, in the driving seat. 4 versus 3, 54 seconds, and it feels like that attack has just lost all its oomph.
Oof. Speaking of oomph, it's like, ugh, more of a groan than anything. Tim facing off against that Clash. Slowed them down the first drop, so a C4 hit is now feeding all this information over to his team. As they were inside of blue, there was very little that Furia could do. Maximum impact in this round from that shield-bearing operator. Now Wizard and Pino have really got to work something special here. Not quite going to happen as Hers gets one, Pino into another. 2 still to find, and one of them being a Clash. Yeah, I don't really fancy your chances here, Tim.
No. Casey is going to pop out in Warehouse if he gets maybe to window, but he's got some problems of his own right now.
Yes, dealing with the pressure coming in. The fire coming over is not going to burn him out, but the problem is the guns start following. Can't quite find his man though, and so on. For now, at least, holds tight. One more trying to pressure him. Can't get the second as he does eventually die to the breach itself. Pino was there ready and waiting, and Nade
to attack this site. They're going to have an alternative because there's going to be no ranged options. 4 versus 4 as it stands, but Cons and Pino low health. Cons even lower health. Fantasy as well. Herds and KZ managing to find those kills. Looks like Furia will hold on to round 3. 4 versus 2. And trying to get something going from below. Just sending the utility up there, Wizard. Manages to get 1 kill onto top red stairs, but look at the damage he takes along the way. You've got a Clash to face up against as well. Really tough finish here for NIP.
Gee, I wonder what the defender ban is going to be in this next round, Tim. Can only be the Clash. It has been infuriating for them to deal with. Nothing they can do here. Still got one on the downstairs. This round is done. Wizard might get one back, but you aren't stopping a Clash. Philippox is there.
But still, nice play from Philippox. So, bans will come in. Furia 2-1 up at this point. It's going to be the ace, and it's going to be the...
in your attack. Otherwise, defenders just use the west window inside a Cash CC to contest on towards you, and things don't start to look pretty. Casey rounds out and gets rid of Cons. They're going to type that one back up again before kills. Flying through for Furia, Tim. Might get one, but it is most definitely a consolation kill as the Clash gives away all the info they need. Furia, anything that you see done when defending on the downstairs, at most you're trying to contest yourself, maybe upstairs to deal with a couple of drones and then falling away. But look at the aggression he's showing here. Gets himself Pino as well. This cannot be happening, guys. There's 2 or 3 of you around. There's drones at his feet, yet he's still got away with absolutely everything. Making use of the trap as well to force them back even further. This ain't looking pretty.
He's going to get himself another if he just swings and shoots here, but no. JV92, Philippox taken. How did they not know that they were flashing him out? They weren't aware that he was still there. Herds manages to get himself a second. 2 versus 3, but the problem is KZ is up on the top floor and he's a little bit stuck at the minute. It leaves Nade all alone in sight. If NIP are able to recognize that quickly, they could well get themselves the pressure mounting. Surprised to see Nade hold on to this. Let's not forget, he's only got 21 bullets in the mag. It's not a primary weapon, and he's going to be challenged in numbers. Manages to get one. Surely they don't feed him one by one. Here he goes to the second. 1v3 becomes a 1v1. There's 35 seconds left for this 1v1 to play out. Hits is the only one left. He sees his man. He takes his shot, but he can't land it.
Andelas as well. Is it coming down main, or is it going in towards sight? It's going in towards sight. If he swings now, he probably gets his man. No! So close.
Have to go in through this single door, and Furia, there will come a point where they will recognize that, and they're dealing with utility as they try to get in there. Fantasy manages to find JV92, but Furia, they really should be able to hold on here. Look at what they're working with. It's difficult for NIP. They can't move in through anywhere. KZ gets a double. Philippox Nade one apiece, and Furia do hold on comfortably.
The side, change things away. Now, I don't really speak enough Portuguese to be able to tell you exactly what was said there, but I know they're on about drones. And oh yeah, that was totally fine by me. This is going to be that hard breach of the thermite. Do we see the same thing brought onto the other side? Looks like we will, with one going through, a second hard breach to follow. It's going to be anyone who dared to try and bandit trick a wall. It was beautiful to see. A little bit harder, admittedly, on this side, during bedroom in particular, but you can still look to play on those windows and try and challenge, unless the windows challenge you. Cons wanting to put to rights the
Hold, but are they aware of Fantasy looking to get aggressive and move up from red? They don't have a clue. Fantasy steps around the corner, manages to get Herds. Nades is there for the trade, but it's a little bit too late. The damage is done. They've lost their sledge as well now, and NIP can retire back to site. 4 versus 3 and looking pretty comfortable.
They hold on for now at the very least. Coming in towards this east side of the map. Still dug in. I was going to say, I'm sure they have no idea, but they surely did because KZ was in there ready to go. They at least get a trade guaranteed, but Nade has got it all to do.
Rounds now before that utility is taken away from you, and they've lost their first opportunity, it looks like, to get one of those rounds. 35 seconds, so plenty of time for Nade. If he can find this first kill, then maybe he can get something going, but no. Steps around the corner, Wizard onto hits, takes down the Legion. Bit of a loss in terms of goo mines there. 5 versus 4 as Furia start to take over the map. Surely the Knock knows now. Yes, he does. Knock. It's Herds. Herds is just going to go on a little walkabout down those main stairs. See if he can get any joy with any rotations. Anybody moving through long. Doesn't find anybody for now. But Nade wanders in from dirt. Gets himself 2. Breaks the back of the defense. That's going to be the round 1. Almost certainly. Cons, not for the first time tonight in a 1 versus pretty soon. But the big battle, I think you're right, Des, is going to be the one for Catwalk.
Oh!
What a loss.
Hoping to find someone on platform, but KZ literally stood in the...
Doing this to guarantee that safety. A little bit of pressure from below would be helpful. Anything to keep those players busy so they can't focus on there. Going to have to move. Downed as they do. Beautiful play from Nade. Fantasy does take down Herds. 4 versus 3. Please tell me that breach is open.
Be down well helping, so Tim, but at this point they've got a couple of kills, and that was the main thing that they were looking for. This Blackbeard applying a lot of pressure for Leapox from the construction window into one more. A 4v2. Forget about your damn breach now. It's about getting the kills. Pino getting one back though, and surely, Tim, they don't let this all collapse back on them.
This is where they might rue not taking over Catwalk, though. We see the Maverick of JV92 has rotated over to the CCTV window. Pressure is coming. I think it's from top red stairs rather than the breach. The breach is kind of open, kind of messy, but it's doing its job at least. The line of sight is there. And Wizard is just battling to try and get something going for NIP. Cut down by KZ. Important kill. Manages to get the second.
They might do off the back of that first half, might just find themselves careering on for a couple of round wins and putting NIP under real pressure. Last band's coming out. It's going to be another hard breach, right? Expect layer of castle barricade removed, but then there may well be someone inside a bedroom who's able to shoot that off. So the game of cat and mouse continues between the two. Herds steps in, and Wizard is gone. There's a good trade coming out. Hate's ready, hearing the sound of the barbed wire to make that step.
Herds was there ready for the attack, but it's kind of weird then that he was re-peeked so easily from main stairs. Hits had been stood there the whole time. Obviously hadn't been picked up by the drone. Cons does pick up Nade though. 4 versus 3. NIP looking pretty solid inside of sight. Pino manages to find Felipox. Keeper barricade goes out and they hold on with style. Plenty to spare as Fantasy and the garage Catwalk, they can think about getting into sight and planting.
I'd love to see him make use of the nano EMPs here to get the ADSs out from below, to be honest with you. Then you can deal with burning through the magnets as they might stand. But Tim, as you say, 4v3, they've got the kill that they needed here. Trying to go for the long range and on towards the stairs. Not quite finding their man just yet. Only takes one to go back the other way as Felipox is going low. All that utility still in back pocket. It's worth stressing. He dies with that. That's a lot of fire and a lot of smoke being taken offline.
And Pino, they're in trouble. That's why Fantasy's getting aggressive on that door. But Pino hits. They managed to get one back apiece for Leapox onto Pino for the trade. 2v2. 30 seconds left to go. Felipox does have diffuser in hand, but there's now only one man to cover. So as soon as Felipox goes onto that plant, it leaves it as a 1v2. Triple kill for Hertz as he manages to take out JV. Felipox is planted. I'm not sure they're aware. They're leaving this really late to go. Felipox, he gets off. He's gun in hand. He can take these challengers 1v2. It's not going to be easy, Des.
It's certainly not, Tim. He gets a trade, but Hates to have found a 3k in the round as the one left alone, the sole survivor of the round. 6 to disable, 6 and 5. Can NIP do it, Tim?
Up this side, they've not really cleared out a lot of utility yet, and certainly no manpower. Haven't dislodged any of these defenders. They're going to have themselves a position, though, as KZ manages to get the kill onto Wizard, but Pino is there, and IP can play the...
Keep on playing this dance here, but it is literally going to come down to the final few seconds and who finds the majority of kills in this close. On we step. It's Nade working his way forward, rounding on towards a different door, but no! Sideswiped inside of Church, didn't know about it. NIP are going to hold on. Tim, you can say the line. It's Furia drastically ramping down. Can these three win it versus the five that still stand? They've got 60 seconds of which to do so. That final bit of fire starts to burn out, including the Capital. KZ, he's in and good for one. JV in for another. Make it a third coming out. No, don't quite find the man. It's all he can do is stand and watch. There's Fantasy.
Problem here, they haven't picked up on Philippox, I don't think. Inside, oh no, they do, they know he's there. I was going to say, the first drone didn't go to that corner. He's going to be rushed down by the Blitz, but somehow he gets the kill. He's full white flashed and takes down Cons. This is big from Philippox. 4 versus 3.
It's one of those I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me moments. Cons really should have had him dead to rights. They have now finally cleared him out. Still. Can Herds be the X factor? Crouching his way up. Might find one. He's going to find number 1, but can't get number 2. Hates. It's him and Fantasy that have been doing this dance at the top of the table for the team all week long. All week? All game long. But now he's got to win here in a 1v2. He's still got a phone call. Please use the phone call. Let's not see another Dokkaebi go down with both of those in back pocket. Could arguably be the difference maker for him. At the least it's a little bit of information. On steps across, the flash comes out, and no, JV has found his man. Fury, careful about where they play now.
Yeah, this is it. There's fewer and fewer spots that they can rely on for any safety. Look at this. Herds has got himself positioned inside of Moto. He's just daring anybody to move around inside. The bandit trick is going to be unsuccessful. They managed to get the job done. It's Kairos pellets detonate, and they get that extra long line of sight through. JV92 manages to find the first kill. It's Wizard that's taken down. 5 versus 4. We have a down though. 2 go. Pino, Cons, NIP fighting back. Des 30 seconds.
It's the cursed entry, Tim. I'm telling you, Fury have got it, which means they're destined to lose the round. A 3v3 yet again as that clock ticks down. Missing out on the headshots. You can see the nerves starting to kick in as Hertz gets one more. Down to a 1v2, and it's Fantasy to go big. No C4 in back pocket, but no! Hertz! It's gone huge throughout the day in so many rounds.
Kudos to him for standing through all of that.
Sweating. I know he was sweating seeing some of these rounds.
Igor, just specifically for that last series of rounds, starting from it was round 10 all the way through overtime. Were you sweating bullets in the back just seeing how those rounds were going? And then how did the team claw their way back into it and actually win it in overtime?
So today was a very stressful day. I don't know how we did what we did, but to be honest, we needed to play together and stay confident each other. So basically that, because when the game the game was crazy like that, Lexi, no, you need to play more simple you can, because it's very, very difficult to understand all the things. Nip was playing very, very, very confident. They don't have fear. They don't fear anything. So it's very difficult to predict what they going to do. So it's very, very hard.
For sure. Igor, well, obviously, congratulations getting to that grand final. It's always a pleasure talking to you, brother. I want to talk about Bank. So, Cafe obviously didn't go in your guys' favor. A lot of spawn kills, a lot of individual plays, but something that was noticeable from the first time you guys played on IP versus the second time, it seemed like the operator map pool on your attacking side was more focused on what you were talking about playing together. So, like, using the Blackbeard for Philippox to be able to position himself, be able to IGL and do the things they need to. Then you guys were using the sense to cause mass hysteria in the site, not feeding that information. I kind of want to know, was that your decision going into Bank to just look at what you guys did the previous time you played them and then how you were going to counteract that the next time on their attack?
So in the last game, in the South Group stage, we played very, very bad because we did play together. And this time we correct that. And so we play the way we are we were practicing. So it's not my decision; it's a team decision, you know. And that's it. And they play on defense very very aggressive on Cafe, and we don't punish them. But in Bank we could do that, so it's more easy to win the rounds.
No, it was masterclass. It was beautifully done by the boys.
And of course, Igor, congrats on the victory. I kind of wanted again to talk about the chaos of the matchup. And obviously, coaches can call tactical timeouts and intervene when the team seems to be going awry, but the coach can only do that once. In all of those other rounds where you can't intervene, what is going through your head as you're watching the game not spin out of control, but definitely get really chaotic? How do you feel not being able to intervene after that tac timeout gets called?
So it's very difficult because in Rainbow Six we only have one timeout, so you need to do the timeout in the correct time. So in my what I do every time on my team is they need to think the same way I think. So that's my job. So I only pause when I see, oh, they are going to another way. I don't think this is the best. So this time I pause.
Okay.
So if you don't, I don't use the tactile, the pause. That's it.
Well, you certainly locked in enough to make sure that the grand finals was going to be on the cards for you again, brother. And it's old territory. You've been there, especially against FaZe in the past. What are you going to do tomorrow in that grand final to make sure that you walk away with as many SI points as possible?
So to win FaZe tomorrow, we need to play more confident than we play today, because if we fear them, so we are very very punished, because they play really close, you know, they play together, and if you made one little mistake, they are there to kill you, and this is very very difficult because we are a team and play very aggressive. We like to take risks and stuff, but when we play against FaZe, we need to adapt our play style to, because it's the best way to win them.
Fair play. Job's almost done, man. One step at a time, though. Bask in what you've got.
Yeah.
Like, please make sure you take a break, because you played a long series or a couple of series today. Then come rested for that grand final tomorrow, man. We're all looking forward to it. Until then, you have a good one.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure talking with you guys. I need to, how I said the last time, I need to improve my English. And right now, I don't have my mind in 100%, but that's it. Thank you.
That's okay.
And hope to do an interview tomorrow, because if this happened, it's because we won. And that's it.
Igor.
That's true.
Igor, one last thing. There's a Furia skin out there, if I believe.
Yes. You guys bought? Because it's very beautiful.
I've got it
from
one of your
I've got it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
And guys, please buy the Furia skin. I always forgot that. Bye, guys.
Got your promo at the end. Congratulations, man. Hopefully we'll see. They didn't waltz their way through this one, but they did end up getting the job done. We will save most of our criticisms for the way that they've played, presumably for the grand final tomorrow. But because the two of you aren't on broadcast tomorrow, anything that you want to say about this series leading into said grand final, now is the time. Lax, just anything about that series, broad strokes.
I mean, it was a good matchup. Obviously, Bank was pretty one-sided, but Cafe was very close. Clubhouse was even closer. I think